What if I told you that right now, at this very moment, your mind is connected to every atom in the universe through invisible threads of quantum energy? What if the secret to unlocking abilities that seem impossible has been hiding in plain sight within the very fabric of reality itself? Stay with me. What you're about to discover will change everything you thought you knew about the power of consciousness. For centuries, mystics spoke of the interconnectedness of all things. Ancient texts whispered of minds that could transcend the boundaries of space and time. They were dismissed as fantasy, until now. Modern quantum physics has uncovered something extraordinary, something that validates what the ancients always knew. There's a phenomenon called quantum entanglement. Einstein called it spooky action at a distance, and it's about to reveal the hidden architecture of your mind's true potential. You see, when two particles become entangled, they remain mysteriously connected across any distance. Change one, and the other responds instantaneously. No matter if they're separated by inches or by galaxies. But here's what the scientists won't tell you in their sterile laboratories. This isn't just happening between particles in their experiments. It's happening in your brain, right now, with every thought you think. Close your eyes for a moment. Feel that space between your thoughts, that stillness. That's not emptiness. That's the quantum field of pure consciousness. And within that field, every possibility exists simultaneously. Your brain contains roughly 86 billion neurons. Each one is a quantum system operating at the intersection of matter and consciousness. When these neurons fire together, they don't just create thoughts. They create quantum entanglements with the fabric of reality itself. This is why certain people throughout history have demonstrated abilities that seem to defy the laws of physics. Remote viewing, telepathic communication, precognitive visions. They weren't supernatural gifts. They were natural expressions of quantum consciousness operating at its highest level. Think about those moments in your own life. Haven't you experienced them? That phone call from someone you were just thinking about. That sudden knowing about something before it happened. That feeling of being watched, only to turn and find someone's eyes on you. These aren't coincidences. They're glimpses of your quantum mind in action. But most people dismiss these experiences. They've been conditioned to believe that consciousness is trapped inside the skull, isolated and powerless. This is the greatest lie ever told about human potential. Let me share something that will sound impossible until you understand the deeper truth behind it. In the quantum realm, observation changes reality. The very act of conscious attention collapses infinite possibilities into a single outcome. Your mind isn't just observing reality, it's actively participating in its creation. When you focus your attention with true intention, you're not just thinking thoughts. You're sending quantum information into the field of possibilities. And because of entanglement, that information can influence events and circumstances far beyond your physical location. This is why meditation masters have always spoken of the power of focused attention. Why shamans could communicate with distant spirits. Why mystics could perceive events happening in far-off places. They understood something that science is only now beginning to grasp. Your consciousness isn't limited by your physical brain. It's entangled with a vast network of quantum information that spans the entire universe. There are documented cases of mothers sensing their children in danger from thousands of miles away. Identical twins feeling each other's pain across continents. Lovers knowing when their partner is thinking of them despite being separated by oceans. These connections exist because consciousness creates quantum entanglements. The deeper the emotional bond, the stronger the entanglement. The more focused the intention, the more powerful the connection. Now, you might be wondering, if this is real, why isn't everyone walking around with telepathic abilities and precognitive visions? The answer lies in the quantum gates of your mind. Your brain has natural quantum coherence states, moments when your neural networks synchronize and operate as a unified quantum system. But in our modern world, these states are constantly disrupted by mental noise, emotional turbulence, and the chaotic frequencies of daily life. Most people live their entire lives with their quantum gates closed. their minds fragmented, their consciousness scattered across 1,000 distractions. But when you learn to quiet the mental noise, when you discover how to enter states of coherent quantum awareness, something extraordinary happens. The ancient practitioners knew this. They developed practices specifically designed to achieve quantum coherence. Deep meditation, breathwork that synchronized brainwaves, visualization techniques that focused consciousness into laser-like precision. They weren't just relaxing. They were literally rewiring their brains to operate as quantum antennae, capable of receiving and transmitting information through the entangled field of consciousness. Here's something profound. Recent studies have shown that when experienced meditators enter deep states, their brainwaves begin to synchronize not just within their own minds, but with other meditators in the same space. They're literally becoming quantum entangled at the level of consciousness. This is why group meditation is so powerful. Why healing circles create miraculous results. Why certain places on Earth feel charged with spiritual energy. Quantum entanglement allows consciousness to transcend individual boundaries and merge into collective fields of intention. When your quantum gates fully open, extraordinary abilities begin to manifest naturally. Not because you're gaining something new, but because you're remembering something you've always possessed. Remote viewing becomes possible because consciousness can quantum tunnel through space, gathering information from distant locations. The military spent decades studying this phenomenon. They know it works. They just don't understand why. Intuitive knowing expands because you're accessing quantum information from multiple timelines simultaneously. What we call intuition is actually your consciousness reading probability patterns in the quantum field. Healing abilities emerge because focused intention can influence the quantum states of biological systems. Every cell in your body is a quantum system, responsive to the coherent frequencies of consciousness. The ancients called these abilities siddhis, supernatural powers that arose naturally from spiritual practice. But they weren't supernatural at all. They were expressions of consciousness operating according to quantum principles that we're only now beginning to understand. And here's the most profound part. These abilities aren't reserved for a chosen few. They're your birthright. Every human being is born with a quantum mind capable of extraordinary feats. The only difference between those who manifest these abilities and those who don't is the level of quantum coherence they've achieved. There are people walking among us right now who've unlocked these hidden potentials. They're the healers who can dissolve tumors with focused intention, the remote viewers who can describe events happening on the other side of the planet, the mystics who can perceive the thoughts and emotions of others as clearly as their own. They're not gifted. They're simply quantum coherent. We're living in extraordinary times. The boundaries between science and spirituality are dissolving. What was once considered impossible is becoming inevitable. As more people awaken to their quantum nature, we're witnessing the emergence of a new form of human consciousness. Children are being born with heightened intuitive abilities. Adults are spontaneously developing telepathic connections. Healing miracles are becoming commonplace. This isn't random. This is evolution. Consciousness itself is evolving, and quantum entanglement is the mechanism through which this transformation is occurring. But here's what you need to understand. This awakening isn't something that happens to you. It's something you must choose to participate in actively. Your quantum mind is like a muscle that strengthens with use. The more you practice operating from quantum coherence, the more these abilities manifest naturally in your life. It begins with simple awareness. Notice the synchronicities. Pay attention to your intuitive hits. Honor those moments when you sense something beyond your 5 physical senses. Create spaces of quantum coherence in your daily life. Morning meditation that synchronizes your brain waves. Evening reflection that reviews the quantum information you received throughout the day. Practices that cultivate the still point between thoughts, where infinite possibilities exist. Everything I've shared with you today exists at the cutting edge of scientific understanding and ancient wisdom. Most people aren't ready for these truths. They're still trapped in the illusion that consciousness is confined to the brain, that thoughts are just electrical impulses, that extraordinary abilities are fantasy. But you're different. Something brought you to this moment, to these words, to this revelation. That wasn't coincidence. That was quantum entanglement drawing you toward your own awakening. Your mind possesses powers that transcend space and time. Your consciousness is entangled with the deepest mysteries of the universe. The only question is, what will you do with this knowledge? Will you dismiss it as impossible and return to the comfortable prison of ordinary awareness? Or will you step into the extraordinary reality that's been waiting for you all along? The quantum field of consciousness is calling. Your entangled mind is ready to awaken. The choice, as always, is yours. If this resonated with you, there's more to discover. Subscribe for deeper explorations into the mysteries of consciousness. The awakening has begun. Will you join us?